Takalani, good to speak to you. First of all, can you please confirm that you met with the unions last night, and where are you failing to meet eye to eye with the unions?
Yes, thank you for having us. Yes, we met with the trade unions last night, but it was a continuation of a meeting we had on Monday evening. On Monday evening, we tabled a 7% average increase, which was differentiated based on the level of performance of employees. So in that offer, the above average employees were going to receive between 7% and 9.2%. And the lowest increase was going to be 5.2%, which is CPI plus 1%. Organized labor rejected that. They asked for 11.4%, which has been what they've been asking all along. We continued with the discussions yesterday morning, where we reiterated that we only have 7%, and we dropped our differentiation model and said we are willing to give 7% across the board to all employees. They once again rejected that, and they then asked us to rather consider or reconsider the proposal that was made by the CCMA commissioner on the 8th of March, which was that we give an 8% across the board increase for a single term with 4 other benefit issues. We then went away and looked at our numbers again, and in the evening we reconvened, and we tabled then a revised offer of 8% across the board as they have requested. However, for us to be able to go to 8%, we realized that we are going into a budget deficit, and for us to be able to afford that, it will mean that we will need to be able to find efficiencies and areas where we can save, and we needed about 3 years to be able to do that. So we asked that we give 8% across the board for this year and give CPI plus 1% over year 2 and year 3, and therefore the 8% increase will then be tied to a multi-year agreement. Organized labor then rejected that offer and said, well, they only want one single term, they don't want multi-year. And unfortunately, on the basis of that, Sars could not accede to that. We need the 3 years to be able to find a way of mitigating the impact of the 8% increase. And so we then reverted to our 7% across the board for a single term, if that is what labor requires.
Okay.
So when we deadlocked last night, our point of difference was simply that, to say they want single term and we want multi-term.
Okay, now, in a statement now, General Secretary Zola Sapeta says the unfortunate part is that we're negotiating with a very arrogant employer, who in the midst of negotiations decide to issue newsflash and so forth. What do you say about that, a very arrogant employer?
Well, it's unfortunate that our colleagues will say that. We don't think we are being arrogant at all. We've seen various media statements being issued by organized labor. Even while we were talking yesterday, when we met in the morning, and then we said, okay, let's allow us to go and look at various issues. While we did that, they went out and continued to issue statements to the media, even while we were still talking. So we were surprised by that, but regardless, we went back and met with them in the evening once again. So we think, though, that we need to make sure that our employees are aware of what we have offered and that they are able to make informed decisions, even as they participate in the strike tomorrow.
Okay, so which services will the strike impact? And also, do you have contingency plans in place?
Yes, well, so in the notice that both PSA and NOW has given us last week, Wednesday, we also had an agreement on the picketing rules, which were ratified by the CCMA, which all parties must abide by. In terms of the picketing rules, the pickets will only happen at our head office in Brooklyn and also at our Alberton campus. There is no action or marches that can take place at our various offices around the country, although employees in those offices may stay away from work. Or they can march whenever they want to march, but they can't march or picket at our offices. So we are hoping that at the various offices around the country, our employees who feel that maybe it is not worth striking when the offer is 8% on the table will see it necessary to come to work tomorrow and continue to serve our taxpayers. So we have made contingency plans, so some of our managers have been deployed at various branches to be able to ensure that the service does not deteriorate.
Okay, so this will affect probably customs, excise, and also the walk-in branches. Am I correct to say that?
That's correct. Yeah, so mainly our customer-facing areas will be the branches and the ports of entry and the contact center for those that might want to call in. So that's where the big impact will be. So we advise where taxpayers are able to access our services through our e-channels, we advise that they do that. But where it is impossible to do that, we ask them to still go to our branches. We hope that we'll still have a minimal service available for them to do that.
All right, thank you so much.
On the ports of entry, we work on...
Thank you so much. That's Mr. Tagalani Musekwa, who's an executive in charge of remuneration and benefits at the Revenue Service, talking to us about the planned strike that's due to start on the 28th. That's this coming Thursday, and also giving a warning to people who want to go into some of those SARS branches. There might be nobody in to help you.